What's up, everyone? Welcome to NBA Grinders Live. I'm your host today, TJ Zworich, joined by my guy, Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. How you doing today, Tim?
Yeah, I'm doing well, TJ. My fade of JJJ last night was obviously a bad one, but I still ended up being profitable because I had AD at super low ownership, so he ended up getting me there. But yeah, JJJ smashed. But I was still able to put up 290, which was good enough for a little bit better than min cash across the board. So I was pretty happy with that, even though the fade really was a bad one.
There you go. Nothing wrong with a little better than a min cash every day. That's making money. I took the night off last night, New Year's Eve, had some plans with some friends, feel refreshed from a DFS perspective. Not refreshed in general, I'm very tired, but refreshed from a DFS perspective. I'm excited to play the slate tonight. 6 games on DraftKings, 8 games on FanDuel. Wish DraftKings would have included those last 2 games on the slate, but nonetheless, we will still cover those last 2 as we go through game by game here. But it's as like you're talking about it with Mr. Richard in chat before the show started. Not a lot of cheap value on this one. We are still waiting for some news, but not a lot of cheap value.
Yeah, like you mentioned, this is a completely different slate, depending on what site you're using. Like, I really wish that DK would have included that Atlanta-Denver game, because that's going to be fantastic for DFS, but we're not going to get that on DK. Yeah, not really a great slate when it comes to super cheap plays. We are waiting on some news. Obviously, the Zach LaVine one is pretty big. Waiting on some Toronto stuff. I'm actually kind of interested to see who Brooklyn starts. I mean, we're probably right that it will be Keon, but I'm not 100% on that. And then, obviously, it's kind of a tough slate when it comes to like super cheap value.
Yeah, I think the biggest spot probably will still be Toronto, just because they have 4 guys listed as questionable, so that could really potentially open some stuff up. But yeah, like you said, not a whole lot of cheap stuff. We got Jalen Brunson still questionable, Jordan Poole, Zach LaVine. I mean, Brunson, who knows if he really is questionable. Half the Raptors team, Derek Lively, Tari Eason, Anthony Black, Duncan Robinson. I don't know if we care too much about that, but that's still a guy that's projected for 26 minutes. So on a slate like this, it might matter. It might matter just a little bit for us here. Smash the like button.
Yeah, and on FanDuel, Jalen Johnson's questionable, and that would be gigantic in that Atlanta game because he plays huge minutes. That would really open things up for somebody like Hunter, and then probably open up some more usage for guys like Trae Young. So that's going to be really big for those of you who are playing FanDuel.
Very good point there as well, but big value potentially opening up on Atlanta, and he was a midday downgrade, so that's never too good of a sign. Yeah. Smash the like button if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and go over to the RotoGrinders Discord because it is Wheel Wednesday. So you can go, Steve put a message in the RotoGrinders live stream Discord. Drop a RotoGrinders logo on that that message that Steve put there, and you're entered to win the giveaway. As long as we get 100 likes before it's time for Wheel Wednesday, Tim, we're not going to give away 1 free week of RotoGrinders Premium. We're not going to give away 2 free weeks of RotoGrinders Premium. We're going to pick 3 different winners. 3 weeks of RG Premium for Wheel Wednesday for New Year's Day. Celebrate bringing in 2025. But we need 100 likes. 100 likes for that to happen. So make sure you're smashing the like button because we want to give away free stuff Wheel Wednesday. But we can't do it if you are not hitting that like button. Anything else from a slate overview perspective, or should we start the game by game?
Just another quick note about FanDuel. I mean, obviously, with no Embiid, it's really going to open up some value for guys like Maxey, Paul George are way too cheap. So make sure to leave plenty of spots open on FanDuel because these last 2 games are really good where it's all going to be in terms of fantasy points and production are this 9 and 10 o'clock game.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we got Eric S in chat asking if Dean's doing all right. We're keeping Dean in our thoughts as he deals with some family stuff. He's going to be out for this week. Hopefully we'll get him back here soon. And so shout out to our guy Dean, best host in DFS. Doing my best to carry things while he's gone, but no one can quite do what Dean does on here. And so make sure keep Dean in your thoughts. And in the meantime, let's win some money, because it's still the holidays. It's New Year's Day. It's a holiday, and the holiday season brings us some huge DFS contests for NBA and NFL. We want you to have a massive holiday takedown, so we're taking $10 off your first month of Combo Lite. That means access to our SimLabs lineup building tool and content from some of your favorite DFS analysts for just $19.99. It's an affordable subscription that has everything you need to build effective lineups, score a big win this holiday season. If DFS is not your thing, maybe you're looking for props and pick'em stuff, and you can get expert picks for all your favorite sites with props and pick'em. Our elite sports betting and fantasy pick'em package features bets and analysis from your favorite RotoGrinders experts. Props and pick'em also includes tools and data powered by our hardworking projections team. Don't make a bet without it. And you can take those props and pick'em package picks that we have, and you take them over to Splash Sports, because if you haven't signed up for Splash Sports, now is still the time. Promo code ROTO10, and when you play $100 in quick picks, you'll get another $50 right back. Splashsports.com/RotoGrinders homepage. Make sure you check that one out. Chicago and Washington. Zach LaVine listed as questionable. Maybe not on the FanDuel slate, but on the DraftKings slate. Most exciting game of the night, probably the one here. We got two teams that played a fast pace, two teams that play no defense. Jordan Poole questionable, Zach LaVine questionable. If those guys are out, this is going to be a real track meet with the best value on the slate. What do you like on the Chicago side?
Yeah, we're not able to bury the lead on DK tonight, because the best game of the night is the first game, or one of the first games of the night. Definitely two horrible, both bottom 8 in defensive rating. They're just so terrible defensively. Josh Giddey is projecting incredibly well, and that's with LaVine in projections. So, I mean, you take him out, and Giddey's going to be an absolute smash play. So, yeah, Josh Giddey, I think he's a fantastic play. And then we got to talk about Lonzo Ball. He finally got up to mid-20s minutes. That game did go to OT, but still, he played 25 minutes. You know, maybe if we gave him, low 20s minutes, he's really popping off in terms of a point per dollar play. He's only 3,800. So I think you could really play Giddey and Ball on the same team, even though that seems kind of weird. But we don't have a lot of like really, really strong value on the slate. So I think you can play Giddey and Ball on the same team. And then there's also guys like Patrick Williams at 4,600 as like another cheap option. Again, we're really starved for value here. So I think Patrick Williams is a fine value. On the Washington side, we got to see what happens with Jordan Poole. I don't mind getting to some of these Washington players. The problem is I think Kuzma's still kind of on a minutes limit. So like, I don't think you can play him yet. But I think you could play if Poole plays. I think Jordan Poole's an interesting GPP play. If he doesn't play, I would assume Malcolm Brogdon would come into the starting lineup. I think he would be okay in a GPP.
Poole, coming off of an injury, hasn't played since December 26th, and he's $500 more expensive than he's been on DraftKings this entire season.
I don't think he would be. I think he hasn't missed enough time, though. I still think he'd play mid-30s minutes, though.
Probably. It's just weird that they've price bumped him so much. Like 8,400 when his highest price has been 7,900. And the games he was 7,900, it was those two that he didn't play in just the last couple games. And so they've been significantly bumping up Jordan Poole in games he's not playing. His highest price prior to that this season was 78. So some weird stuff going on with Jordan Poole.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some interesting pricing for sure, but I think the matchup is really, really good, and I don't think he'll lose out on any minutes if he does play. We gave him 31 minutes. I'm sure we're hedging with that Q tag a little bit to bring his projection down, but I think if he plays, he would play like 33, 34.
Is Carrington not questionable at all? I thought I saw something about him getting like wheelchaired off of the court.
I think he was on the injury report with a what was called a post-traumatic headache. I don't know. I don't really know what that means. It doesn't sound good. But I think he must be off the injury report now
Harrington Head
because
is available to play Wednesday
yeah.
against. Well, it's weird.
Yep.
That doesn't
Yep.
seem like you should be. Just
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. But
Well, he did pass concussion protocol, I believe. So yeah. But yeah, he was wheeled off the court.
Jeez. Yeah, on the Chicago side of things, obviously things get a lot better with if Levine is out. Even if he's in, I kind of like all these guys against Washington. Vucevic looks good. Giddey looks fine. I don't really get why he's projecting quite so good already with Levine in, but hey, he's looking pretty great in this spot. Kobe White, I think, is the guy I like better. He came through for me last game without Levine, played 40 minutes in overtime, played great, put up a great score, and he only went 8 for 24 from the field. So if he gets hot, if Levine's out, he's my favorite play on the slate. Vucevic left me down in the last game, but I'll go right back to the well. I'll try not to play too much Patrick Williams and Lonzo Ball, especially if they get chalky, just because I don't know how big those ceilings are for those two guys. And if they're going to be our chalkiest value on the slate, running 150 tournament lineups, I'll probably try and differentiate a little bit. If Levine's out, I think Talen Horton-Tucker makes for a great game play. He played 20 minutes last game, and Torrey Craig was actually the one getting the minutes in the fourth quarter, and he's out for this one. And so even if Julian Phillips pops into the starting lineup, we don't have to worry about him because that's kind of just a fake starter. But I think guys like Dalen Terry, Talen Horton-Tucker, they become very interesting as salary savers on the slate, especially as pivots off of Patrick Williams and Lonzo Ball. On the Washington side of things, I don't really like it. Like, I think the guy that I'm most interested in is Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, I mean, assuming Poole's in, I don't really like it either. If he's out, I'm looking at our if then Malcolm Brogdon gets a huge bump in projections with no Poole. He'd be projected for 38.74 DK points. That's really nice at his price tag. So Brogdon would be borderline like cash game play. Like he would definitely be in a cash game conversation. We'd be giving him 31 minutes and almost 39 DK points. So, but yeah, I don't mind the Joe call. Are you getting to any where'd he go? Cool Bally.
I haven't done any builds yet. I don't think I would include him. Koulibaly is only a guy I really ever play when Kuzma's out.
Okay. So doesn't you don't want to play him if Poole is out? It has no effect on you for that.
If Poole is out, I'll probably include him in the pool. I like him more when it's Kuzma out, but if Poole's out, I think I would probably include him in the pool.
It's just because like Kuzma isn't really playing his full allotment of minutes. So it's not like Kuzma's like fully back, I guess is what I'm saying.
What does Carrington project for if Poole is out?
25 DK points, 32 minutes.
Yeah, so he becomes viable.
The only real winner in terms of DK value is Brogdon, and maybe a little bit of Joe Val.
Just because it's Chicago, I still think I would have interest in Sarr, Carrington, maybe even like a Corey Kispert, something like that, because there isn't very much value on this slate. Just looking for ways that I can get off of a potentially chalky Patrick Williams. But I don't like this team anywhere near as much as I like Chicago, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
Orlando and Detroit, the other 7:00 game. It's got a real tight 2-point spread, but less exciting of a DFS one. We currently have Goga Bitadze at $6,900, still projecting as one of the better values on the slate. What the heck is going on in this world? And then it should be a tight, good defensive game. I hate the idea of 20 to 30% own Goga Bitadze at almost 7K.
Yeah, and KCP I think is projecting for pretty high ownership as well at 4,500. Yeah. That's how starved for value we are. This game, I mean, it's so bad from a total perspective. But I think you can play Goga. I think you can play that chalk. I really wish Cade was not 10-6 because this actually would be a good spot for Cade. I just think that price is too high. Like if he was 96, I would strongly consider playing him because he is in a really good spot. But that price tag with this team total, I don't love it. Pretty hard matchup here. If KCP is really going to be that high owned, that's chalk that I don't want to play. I'll just play Patrick Williams or Lonzo Ball. Like
I don't want to play any of them.
No, I know, but I mean, I really don't want to play KCP. So especially if he's going to be high owned, I actually think this is a pretty good spot for Jalen Suggs as well. He is also just a little bit too expensive, and that team total's even worse than Detroit. So, man, I don't know. I could see rostering Goga. Other than that, I don't see who I'm going to be playing in this matchup.
I kind of want to fade Goga, but then just take his over of 10.5 rebounds today. That's kind of how I want to do it, is just avoid the chalk. But he's been an absolute rebounding monster lately, so maybe just get some exposure to him that way. Is there, you talked about fading KCP. Is there anybody else on Orlando you would have any interest
in? I mean, if really no value opens up, and we feel confident about that, then I think Jonathan Isaac at 3,600 in the power forward spot. He's power forward center. I wouldn't waste the center spot on him, but because he has that power forward spot at 3,600, I wouldn't hate that. But man, I'd be really bummed if I wasted a roster spot and some value opened up after the 7:00 lock. That's the only issue.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Detroit side of things, Cade Cunningham 10-6. They're not playing around on DraftKings today, where they're going pricing everybody sky high. He is $1,000 cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. So Cade Cunningham, much better play on FanDuel, because even there, he's still only projecting for like 2%. He's projecting for higher ownership on DK. Now it's 1.8% versus 2%. But at $1,000 more expensive. So I like Cade over on FanDuel. On DK, I think I can just X out this entire team.
Yeah. I mean, if I was
even
in
a 20,
yeah, I would definitely exit them out if I was in a 20 max setting. A 150, I might have a small sprinkle of Cade, just because I think he could get 70 DK points, conceivably. I might have a tiny sprinkle of maybe Tobias Harris at 51, like very, very small, like 2%, 3%. But I think that would really be it for me. And the problem with playing him on FanDuel, he is a way better player on FanDuel, but on FanDuel, we get those 2 late games.
Yeah.
So that's the only issue. But he is a way better play on FanDuel. So if you want to take a shot at him over there, I don't blame you, but you would be giving up playing Trae Young probably potentially without Jalen Johnson. So that's the only kind of issue I have. And you probably wouldn't be able to play Tyrese Maxey either. So again, you'd be giving up these 2 really, really strong point guards to play him. So there's way more of an opportunity cost on FanDuel to play Cade.
Not somewhere you look to go, I think, if you're playing 1 lineup, 3 lineups. But if you're MMEing, definitely look to get over on that 2%. Like, get yourself 5% Cade Cunningham tonight, and you're doubling the field. Not a very exciting game, but Brooklyn and Orlando, even though these 2 teams, Brooklyn and Toronto, even though these 2 teams are terrible, they do have the potential for a lot of excitement and a lot of fantasy points in this one. We just got a trade from Brooklyn. They sent away Dorian Finney-Smith. Toronto has like 4 guys questionable. Cam Thomas is still out for Brooklyn. This one could be exciting, but this Brooklyn team is going to be pretty spread out in terms of minutes. And Toronto, we have absolutely no idea what to do with this team yet.
Yeah, so who are we looking at with the Q tags? I'm gonna pull up the sheet real quick.
RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, who hasn't played in weeks and weeks. Grady Dick, Jacoby Walker. And so it's especially interesting because who benefits the most with RJ Barrett out? It would probably be Grady Dick, but Grady Dick's also questionable. Who would benefit the most if both of them are out? Well, it would be Jacoby Walker, but Jacoby Walker is questionable. So it really does leave them thin at the wing position if all of these guys were to go out. Like we could end up with, if say all three of them were ruled out, we could end up with a 3.1K Jamison Battle in the starting lineup.
And they really didn't fool around with Scotty Barnes' price either, who would be like the point guard at 10-1. So, I mean, he would be expensive, and he'd get a ton of usage too. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting. It's hard to analyze this game right now because we don't have all the info. This isn't a bad spot at all for Toronto. Obviously not a bad spot for Brooklyn either. I don't know. Quickly, he hasn't played since like middle of November. So he would probably be on a pretty big minutes limit. How much are we giving him right now?
26.
26. Okay. So probably can't play him no matter what. Yeah, it would probably just be Scotty Barnes at 10-1.
Yeah, I would still include him in my 150 max for the ceiling, but Scotty Barnes at 10-1 does seem excessive. 9-2 on FanDuel makes him look like a really good play over there. But the 10-1 on DK, that is going to be very tough for me to get to. Having said that, like if all those guys are out, I will. If all these guys are in, I'll probably just X out Toronto today. And I don't know, maybe load up on Dallas and Houston, the Knicks and Utah. Like this is a really gross slate on DraftKings if nothing else opens up. But if Barrett, Quickly, Dick, Walter, say all four of these guys are out, Toronto's all of a sudden the best team to target on the slate outside of just Scotty Barnes. We'll get Jamison Battle, Jamal Shed, Davion Mitchell, all looking like potential good value plays at 3-5 and below.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is kind of like one of these things that we're waiting for in a big, big way. So I'm sure at least one or two of these guys are going to sit. I'm just not sure which ones.
If it's like Barrett and Quickly, but then the other guys play, I'll love Grady Dick at 5,700.
Yeah,
like he just chucks whenever RJ Barrett doesn't play.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Brooklyn side of things, we touched on them a little bit, but like D'Angelo Russell at 5,100 is looking like one of the best value plays on the slate right now, and we don't even know if he's going to see the court.
He's going to see I would say he's going to see the court.
Like he will. Like I guess we know he'll step on the court, you know, but like it's going to be his first game with the new team. It's the LA gave him away for peanuts because he was doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be really hard to know exactly like how many to like project his minutes. So if you think he's gonna get more than 26, he's an absolute smash play. So if you have like a bullish stance on that, I would definitely play him heavily. I think we're taking a little bit more of a conservative approach than other sites, which is fine because we really don't know how many minutes he's gonna play. If you see him in the starting lineup, I would take a very, very bullish stance on him. So if he starts, I would definitely say that I would assume he will get more than 26 minutes tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that. If he's in the starting lineup, I think he becomes the best value player on the slate. However, if you have more of a bear stance on him and you don't think he's going to play 18 minutes in his first game, then that makes somebody like Tyrese Martin to me be a very interesting value play. He's projecting for 19% ownership right now at 3,800. He and Day'Ron Sharpe, I think, are two interesting high ceiling options if this game gets ugly. Like they could be totally fine for their prices at 15 to 20 minutes. If this game gets ugly in either direction, now it's a close spread, but both teams are horrific. Like you never really know which one's going to come out to play. So if this gets ugly in either direction, I think Martin and Sharpe are two guys that could put up really big ceiling performances.
I'm going to do a lot of Martin in Sims. I ran 100 on DK anyway. I ran 150 before the show. I'm getting to a lot of Tyrese Martin. So he's one of the more standout value plays. He rates out better than Patrick Williams, similar to Lonzo Ball at half the ownership. So Sims really likes Martin today, but that's without Russell in the starting lineup.
Yeah. We'll return to this game when we get that Toronto news, if it happens during Grinders Live. If not, the Crunch Time crew has you covered going all the way up to lock. We got Kevin Roth, we got Neil Orfield, we got Kirkdiese, Chris Kirkwood. Great squad for Crunch Time, so they'll have you covered. If we do get that before lock, though, we will return to that, because if those guys are out, this Toronto and Brooklyn game does become one of the best ones to target on the slate. We have the Pelicans at the Heat. Pelicans have the lowest team total on the whole slate, going up against the Miami team that is pretty strong defensively. Jimmy Butler, I guess, is playing, even though he was just kind of chilling for a little while because he wanted to get traded. It's so annoying because I know I've kind of made it seem like half of these teams I have no interest in. But I have no interest in this game, Tim. Like, Tyler Herro I like, but he's super expensive now. And on the Pelican side of things, they're all priced up. I don't want to play any of them.
I guess I have a little bit of interest in Hero, but not a ton. I am getting to quite a bit more Heat than I thought I would in Sims. Getting to some Bam, getting to some Hero. I don't really love it though. But it's mainly just those two guys. I don't think I want to use my center spot on Bam, and Hero just seems a little bit too expensive with Butler back. But like, who knows what Butler's going to be doing? I mean, I think this situation is one to kind of stay away from. At least I'm going to do that. Yeah, I mean, this is not my my favorite. This is probably my least favorite game on the entire slate. I prefer getting the guys from Detroit and Orlando rather than these two teams. I guess Misi on the other side is decent as well, but again, center spots are so valuable.
Yeah, Misi's both priced up on both FanDuel and DraftKings, 6K and 6-1. I think the guy that I'd probably have the most interest in on the Pelicans would be Trey Murphy. Maybe I play a lineup that has like Trey Murphy and Tyler Herro in it together, and for if this one stays close. But with this being a 9-point spread, I think the guys on the Miami side of things that I like the best are Nikola Jovic, who's been playing some good basketball lately. I don't like that ownership, but it's tough to deny the ceiling he's had as of late. Alec Burks at 3,400, I think, makes for a strong value play when we don't have any value on this slate as strictly a large field tournament option. He's only 3,400. If he plays 15 minutes, he could get there. If this gets ugly and he plays 28, he could be the best value play on the slate. Same thing kind of what I'm looking at with Kevin Love. We have him projected for 7 minutes, but he's 3,100. What if he gets 16? You know? Like, if Kevin Love gets mid-teens minutes at 3,100, he could have 9 points, 9 rebounds, a steal, and a block, and just absolutely smash.
I'm just seeing if he is. He's played what? He's gotten up to 14 twice. So I guess it's possible.
It's just like the value on the slate is so gross, and I hate clicking 30-40% owned guys that I really don't see with ceilings. I think I might take shots on random people like Alec Burks and Kevin Love and multiple of those types of guys throughout the slate and just mix and match them with a core of guys that I like tonight, like the Chicago players, like a couple of these teams that we're going to be getting to right away here. I think I'm just going to mix and match a lot of the super low owned, super volatile potential tournament value plays as opposed for the chalk guys that are going to be getting, solid minutes, probably going to get you 4 or 5x, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I actually don't really mind your Jovic call. I think he's fine. He's projected for 22 minutes. He's decent value. He's got power forward center eligibility. I think that's okay. He's simming pretty well also. So I think Jovic is a really good play.
Jackson Carr in chat making a good point. Like, if we're taking shots on Kevin Love, why not take a shot on Cattell Ware, who has also been pretty solid from a point per minute standpoint and has been getting more minutes lately. So really, really like that call there from Jackson Carr. I think that's viable. 55 more likes for 3 winners of RotoGrinders Premium in Wheel Wednesday. If we don't get the likes, there's only going to be 1. We're skipping right past 2. So if you want a chance to win RotoGrinders Premium for 1 week, smash the like button on YouTube. Go over to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord, hit the RotoGrinders icon on the post Steve dropped in there, and you have a chance to win 3 weeks. 3 different people will have a chance to win 1 free week of RotoGrinders Premium, but you got to hit the like button. We got to get up over 100 likes to do so. It's super easy. You take the mouse, you slide it over, you click like. If you're on your phone, I'm sorry, it's more difficult. It's 2 steps. I know we're tired. It's been a long holiday season. But you got to chat, and then you got to hit the like button. Go over to the RotoGrinders Discord. Get in the contest to win a free week. Do we got some injury news?
Levine is in.
Dang it!
I know.
I really wanted some value.
I was really leaning on him being out too, but
yeah,
he's in.
Zach LaVine is in, so that does make things a lot more difficult, and that is why we are talking about taking shots on players in MME like a Kevin Love, a Jackson, Alec Burks, a Cattell Ware, because we have no value on this slate. The Pelicans side of things, I guess we already did talk about them. I just forgot about it because we didn't like anything. I said Murphy or nothing. You said Messi or nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not crazy about Messi. I guess Herb Jones at 5,400 would be okay. But, I mean, that's just... We finally saw Murray actually have a pretty decent game. He does have a ceiling at this price tag. I don't love this spot, though. So, I think Murray would be okay for large field GPPs at 10% projected ownership. But really not. This is just it's a pretty bad game.
Couldn't agree more. I think the next one won't be necessarily a good game, but it'll be more fun for DFS purposes.
Yep.
We've got Utah going into New York as a 12.5 point spread. Utah is still without John Collins. On the Knicks side of things, they're coming in relatively healthy. They have Jalen Brunson is questionable, but are we really going to believe it after waiting on this for the last 3 nights and he always plays? Look, if he doesn't play, that would be the big mega thing that opens up Miles McBride and Cameron Payne and maybe more Precious Achua. Achua, I think, already looks pretty good for his price tag in this game. But the Knicks guys always play minutes, even in a blowout. This is a big spread. I think this is going to be an interesting game. Let's start on the Utah side of things. Johnny Juzang stepped into the starting lineup last game, played 22, gave a pretty solid score for his price tag. We're not projecting him very well, and he's not projected for any ownership. But I actually think that's the guy that I would probably be most interested in on this team for large field tournaments. Same thing as what I talked about with the Kevin Love and the Cattell Ware types things. Isaiah Collier, Johnny Juzang, Bryce Sensabaugh. One of these guys probably has a good game and makes for a great value play at very little ownership.
Yeah, we did just get some Magic news. Trevelyan Queen and Anthony Black are both out.
Interesting.
I wonder if that should help Cole Anthony, I would assume.
Was Anthony even priced up?
He is kind of priced up. He's 51 and he's shooting guard only. But still, I would think that
probably makes Anthony look pretty good. And like he's a guy that if he gets the minutes, he can absolutely smash his price tag. He's performed very well from a fantasy standpoint.
Because we had 26 minutes going to Black and 8 going to Queen. So that's 34 minutes now that has to be dispersed amongst these rest of these players. So
which probably gets dispersed directly to Cole Anthony and Gary Harris.
Yeah. I would, yeah. So, Ian, for what it's worth, Cole Anthony's only 4K on FanDuel. So I think that's pretty decent.
4K on FanDuel, I think, becomes very, very interesting. It'll be interesting to see what his projection adjusts to if he starts getting ownership. But 4K on FanDuel, I think, is a great, great price tag for Cole Anthony.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what the projections team does about that one.
On Utah, I don't think I have any interest in Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson. These guys have been priced to a point that I don't really think I need to get there. Walker Kessler maybe is fine. I think fine without John Collins if this stays close. Lauri Markkanen has just not been the same guy this year, so I don't think I get there. Keontae George, I think, is maybe fine at his price tag.
I like Walker Kessler in this matchup. He's gonna have to match up with Cat for the basically the entire game, so he should play pretty big minutes in this matchup. Cat's not a very good defender, so I could see Kessler going for over 45 in this spot. So at around 10% projected own at 6,600, this is a play that I would get overweight in GPPs. Maybe get to like 20%, because I just think this is a really good matchup for Kessler. I don't mind getting to Lauri Markkanen. I think that's okay as well. I would strongly prefer Kessler over him. Keontae George, I don't know. I could never do it with him, but he can beat this price tag pretty easily. So I definitely don't hate it, but he's definitely not my favorite play.
Muted. Shoot. He feels like one of the 4 people on this slate that plays minutes and hasn't gotten priced up. Like that's really all it is for me on DraftKings, is like his price tag is what it should be, where everybody else seems like it's $500 to $1,000 too expensive. What about on the Knicks side of things? Obviously, if Brunson's out, we load up on the Knicks, but we think he's going to play. He's been questionable for all week, and he keeps playing. Josh Hart coming off a mega explosion game. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges can get there at their price tags. This whole team, to me, looks pretty good, even down to the bench guys, with McBride, I think, being viable, and same with Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah, I was a game early with Josh Hart. I predicted him for 60 points as my hot take, and I was 1 game early. So absolutely smashed in his last game. Utah has the worst defensive rating in all of basketball. This should be a pretty it's a really good spot. They're 13-point favorites at home, a 121 total. So we should be getting to some Knicks here. I don't mind if it's Cat. I don't mind if it's Brunson. Brunson's looked really, really good. Continues to play through that Q tag. So at 8,900, I think he does have a ceiling here. If you want to go back to Josh Hart, you absolutely can. But now he's past the 7K threshold. He's 7,300 now. That's pretty pricey for him. Bridges is always kind of a wild card. Don't mind it in GPPs. Don't love his ownership, though. So if he's really going to be like around 20%, I don't love that. Same thing with OG. Like, I would probably either come in a little bit under that or match the field, because I don't really love those guys, because they can just kind of disappear offensively. But I think you should be getting exposure to this team as part of like a portfolio of teams. Does that make sense?
I like Karl-Anthony Towns quite a bit on this slate, just because he probably should be about 10.4K. That's a viable salary for him. He's cheaper on FanDuel, not picking up much ownership on either site, even lower on FanDuel than it is on DraftKings. I like Towns quite a bit. I view Walker Kessler kind of as a guy that, and I admittedly have not watched many Knicks Utah games, so if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I view Kessler as a guy who likes to stay under the hoop. And so I think Karl-Anthony Towns may be able to stretch him out a little bit and knock down some jumpers in this game. So I like Towns quite a bit. Basically any of the New York starters I'm willing to play. I'd probably rank them Towns 1, Hart 2, Brunson 3 in terms of my priorities. Dallas and Houston, last game on the DraftKings slate. We are ripping through things, but we're going to spin the wheel between DK and FanDuel. So that means, people, we need you to smash the like button here, because we want to give away not 1 week, we want to give away 3 weeks, and we're still 30 likes away from giving away the 3 weeks of RotoGrinders Premium. We're trying to give you free premium, people. It's the best gift. It's free. I love you. The things you don't have to pay for are the very best things. And so smash that like button. We got enough people in the YouTube chat to do it. Get those likes up, and let's give away 3 free weeks on Wheel Wednesday. It's such a gross slate on DraftKings that there's 2 to 3 games that I have interested in so far. And now we're already at the last game of the slate, Dallas and Houston. And like, I guess it's one of the better games on the slate, but when you look at these prices, am I going to play a $6,800 Spencer Dinwiddie? Like, what are we doing here? There's nobody to play.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at my exposures in the Sims, it's just like I'm not getting I'm getting to the least of Dallas of any team, and Houston is the third least, so third fewest. So I mean, this game is simming terribly. I don't really know. I'm certainly not playing Dinwiddie. That's just too expensive at this point. He finally got priced up, which he should. I really have no interest in this game at all. Boy, I mean, I'm trying to think who I would even consider like in a 20 max setting.
If
I
Lively
guess
doesn't play, Gafford's probably the best value play on the slate that we have right now.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I was just kind of looking at like our projected starters. Yeah, if Lively sits Gafford's a great play. Maybe Şengün at 7%, just because we know he has a ceiling.
I'm trying to stretch things out here. No Houston yet. You got to go Dallas only.
Dallas. I mean, that's hard for me to stretch out though, because
I'm trying to. We got 30 minutes till crunch time gets here.
No,
and
I
we're
know.
on the last DK game, so
we have lots to talk about these last two games for FanDuel, and we got to spin the wheel. Hopefully, we spin it 3 times. But yeah, I just can't play these guys. I cannot play Dallas. I cannot. I'm not spending 9,400 for Kyrie in this matchup. Definitely not 6,800 for Dinwiddie in this matchup. So Clay is Clay. I don't think he's has much of a ceiling in this spot. Maybe he's got an okay floor, but still, like I don't want to play Clay. So these guys are just priced up too much. It's not a good matchup. It's not a good team total. So it's it's really just Gafford if Lively sits.
I think I'm gonna go under the impression that Lively does not play. It's just a gut feeling. He hasn't been practicing. They've been playing a lot of games. He's been questionable for all of them and hasn't gone yet. I think just with the lack of value he has, and maybe I'll just play Lively so that I can just swap all those lineups directly to Gafford, since Lively is $100 more expensive if Gafford's out. But I feel like this is one of the spots that I want to take most advantage of. PJ Washington's not going to be the one covering Şengün. They're going to need a center out there. And so I think Lively, if he plays, would be a good value. And then if Lively's out, Gafford would be among the best. So I think I want to get really heavily overweight on this center situation for Dallas.
I also wonder if maybe if you got that news before 7:30, you could set up like a 2v2 and play Kessler instead of Lively and go down somewhere else. Maybe if you didn't want to play Lively, because I really like Kessler tonight. So, but I agree with you though. If you could hold off for that news, Gafford would be a fantastic value play. So maybe you could build like a 2v2 and hope that you get that news before 7:30. And if you don't, you're just stuck with Lively, and that's okay.
It's annoying that, like, if this was a 10-game slate, I hate that DK raised all the prices and cut the last 2 games. If it's a big slate, make it tough. Make it tight. Like, I like that. Don't make it so we can play whoever we want. Make us have to dig through and find the options. But there just aren't really any good options on this slate. We simply have to take shots on bad ones. But I do think this Dallas center situation could be one of the good ones. I think Daniel Gafford could be a very big edge on this slate. Let's pivot over to the Houston side of things. It's a nice matchup for them. It's a 114 total. They look pretty decent, but like other teams, they have been priced up here. We have $9,500 Alperen Şengün. Tough price tag to get there for him. On FanDuel, he's $9K. It's a little easier. But Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, I do still think there are some meat on the bone on those ones, on those plays there. Who do you like on the on the Houston side of things.
Yeah, so it'd probably be FEV and Şengün for me. I don't mind Şengün at 9,500. We've seen him show massive ceiling at times. So I think this is a spot where he could smash at really, really low ownership on a very small slate. So I think Şengün is one of my favorite plays, certainly from this game. One of my favorite large field GPP plays, probably on this entire slate. So I think he's worth taking a shot on. I might consider playing him in one in a 3 max setting. So I like him quite a bit. Dylan Brooks is showing up with pretty high projected ownership. I don't love that. I think there's better.
I think that's horrible.
I think there's better, small forward, value guys that we can play. And then it's FEV.
He has been playing better lately. Like Amen Thompson is out. Tari Eason is questionable. So, like, if all of a sudden we get Eason not playing for this one, like, Brooks probably will have to play 35 minutes.
That is true. That is true. Like, if Eason sits, I could see playing Brooks. But if Eason plays, I really have no interest in Brooks.
If Eason's out, we have no value on this slate. In large field tournaments, can you dust off Jae'Sean Tate?
I was going to talk to you about Cam Whitmore.
Whitmore, I think, would be fine too. I would definitely get to him at 4K, but like Tate at 32, that's the type of Emmanuel Quickly will play. So Quickly is back in action after missing tons of games. So very interesting there. Emmanuel Quickly will play. Hopefully, we'll get some of this more of this Raptor news fairly soon here, and we can just return to that game. But yeah, I think Whitmore would be interesting, but I think Tate at 32 is interesting too, because 32 is one of those price tags that it's like, just get me 15. You just get me 15, and I'm gonna like the way the rest of my lineup looks.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't mind that. I mean, we are starved for value here, so you're gonna have to really dig and get super uncomfortable on this slate.
Who else do you like on Houston as we get some more of the Toronto news here? Grady Dick ruled in. RJ Barrett ruled out. Walker ruled in. So RJ Barrett, the only one missing today for the Raptors.
Yeah, so that would be a pretty big upgrade for Grady Dick, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think Quickly playing does bring it down a little bit, but I think Dick is definitely my favorite of that group for the Raptors now.
And then we'd assume Agbaji would enter the starting lineup, I think.
Agbaji would likely be the guy, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's still not great value on the slate.
No, we needed at least 2 of them out, I think.
Yeah.
Some really good value.
I was really hoping 2 of those questionable guys for Toronto would sit, but we only got 1. So, I mean, boy, oh boy. Yeah, I mean, this slate is just going to force you to make uncomfortable plays. There's really nothing you can do about that. I mean, FanDuel is a lot easier and it's a better slate, but I know that most people play DK. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't mind that Tate call in larger fields. I just feel like, don't you feel like Whitmore would be safer?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Then Tate?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Whitmore's safer for sure. It's just like, I think at 4K, there's a lot more I need from Whitmore than I do from Jae'Sean Tate at 3-2.
That's true. Yeah.
I think both of them, though, are in play if Tari Eason's out. If Tari Eason's in, I don't think I get there. If Eason is in, I don't know how many minutes he's going to play because he's been out for so long. But at 4,800, I think he's absolutely a guy you got to take shots on in low ownership if you're playing lots of lineups.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Jabari Smith, I think, is too expensive for me. Brooks, only if Eason's out. What do you think about Green, Van Vliet, and Şengün for their price tags?
I do like Van Vliet quite a bit. I do like Şengün quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to get to any Green. I mean, I suppose you always can do that. Like, he does have a ceiling, but I'm going to stick with FEV and Şengün.
Still need 20 more people to hit the like button before we spin the wheel here, Tim. We got 20 more people. It's the last call because we're spinning it after this game. We're going to extend the game. I cut you off so you couldn't talk about Şengün so that people get a little more time to hit the like button. But 3 weeks of RG Premium are on the line, people. We want to give it to you. All you got to do is click the little button on YouTube. Take your mouse over, slide it over, click the like. If you're watching on your phone, you got to click hide chat, then hit the like button. We have free RotoGrinders Premium for you, giving away 3 weeks if we get up to 100 likes. So smash the like button. What were you saying about Şengün?
He's coming off back-to-back 50-plus DK games. So, I mean, he is playing well. Those are both, like, pretty bad matchups, too. So this is a matchup that he could crush. So I don't mind him. Like I said, I would play one of him in a 3-max setting.
Yeah, I don't mind that one bit as well. Şengün's a guy that always has a ceiling. So definitely always got to get to him if you're building lots of lineups. Jalen Brunson, a game time decision. That's interesting because I don't think we got that the last couple games. We just got that he was in and he was going to play. So maybe it leads to something with Brunson, but I'm feeling cynical at this point, Tim. Like, I'm feeling like there's no value that's going to come. We're just screwed and we got to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's played through that questionable tag like 2 or 3 games in a row. So I'm really not I don't really care about that whole game time decision announcement.
My own CEO says, come on, guys and gals, I need this free week. No BS. Hit that like button. Buff Daddy says, get those likes in, folks. Listen to the people. Come on. We want to give those free weeks of RotoGrinders Premium away from you for you. And we can't do it unless we got to 100 likes. We need 15 more people hitting that like button. Get on your alt accounts. Call your wife. Get her to log in. Get on your kids' accounts. Get them to hit the like button. Maybe not that one because you don't want to go to gambling sites on your kids' accounts. That'll mess up their algorithms, and you don't really want that going on. But Steve, the resident Nick fan in a private chat, saying that Brunson did go to game time decision last game as well. So again, we can't let Tibbs and the Knicks be fooling us here. This is a guy that is going to be most likely playing.
Yeah, and a game time decision does not change his status.
Correct.
Right? He's still just questionable. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. All right, Steve. I delayed as long as I could. I think the people may have failed. I mean, we can do the first wheel because we're gonna do one for 85 anyways, but 85 likes. I think we're gonna be 15 short of getting to do the second and third spins. Steve didn't come in, so that means you got to answer, Tim. You got to give me something here. Tell me your disappointment with the people.
I know. Can we not get 15 more?
Apparently not.
Crazy. Wow, that's too bad.
Apparently no one's New Year's resolution was hitting the like button. And so we did get up to 90. That still means 10. Steve's dog. The reason Steve's not on here right now with us is because Steve's dog is going absolutely crazy. And if Steve's dog is going crazy, to tell people to hit the like button. Steve's dog is that upset that we have not hit the like button. Bill's Mafia says, "Where's my name?" Well, and Zidiot says I hit the like button twice. That's bad because that cancels it. Bill's Mafia, did you go in the Discord and drop your little RotoGrinders logo on the thing? Because that is what you got to do. Oh, Zidia did it on separate accounts. That's what we're looking for, Zidia. That's the type of commitment we're looking for. Up to 99. We're going to do it. One more, everybody. Spin the wheel, and I'm sure we'll get it by the time it's done. Spin that wheel. Great job, everybody. Great job. No way. Gregorius the Wise. This guy's
he wins every movie Monday.
He won our movie Monday, yeah.
Yeah, he wins every Monday.
Unbelievable. The best guesser.
Incredible.
And now he comes in and wins this one as well. We've hit 100 likes. We got 2 more spins. If you haven't yet, quick, drop your little RotoGrinders logo on the on Steve's post in the live stream Discord chat. It says Happy New Year, Wheel Wednesday. We got 28 people on there right now. Let's spin the wheel again, Tim. Steve. Rock, friend of the show. Oh no, he held on. Derek Ringering, D-Rock 1838, friend of the show.
Wow.
Shout out to Derek for
Derek
in that
well
one.
done.
I know you get a free week of either RotoGrinders Premium or Scores and Odds. I know Derek sometimes likes to give his away even. I'm not going to put that on him. It's yours, Derek. Keep it if you want it. But get it in there. If you're in the RotoGrinders live stream Discord and you put the logo on Steve's post, you are in the wheel. Let's give it one final spin. By friend of the show, David, I just mean Derek's always in chat. You see Derek Ringering two things above you. I've never met Derek, but he's always in the chat. He's always hanging out with us. Third spin, Steve. Let's get it. Esquire with the fancy symbols and the numbers. They get the winner. Great job, Esquire. You get one free week of RotoGrinders Premium or Scores and Odds. Reach out to Steve in the Discord like live stream chat. All right. We've gone through the whole DK slate. We still got the last games on FanDuel, but before we pivot to that, Tim, who is breaking the slate today on DraftKings? I like to leave that for if we got 100 likes. Well, we did it. The people got 100 likes. Shout out to the people. You guys are great. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Let's make some money. Who's breaking the slate today, Tim?
All right. I'm going to go with I'll go with Şengün.
Alperen Şengün breaking the slate today. I like that one. I'm going to go with Grady Dick. Grady Dick is going to be breaking the slate today. He is going to go off in RJ Barrett's absence. Emmanuel quickly being on the court for 20, 25 minutes is going to open things up for him. I'm going to say Grady Dick is going to be the guy who breaks the slate today. The other one I was thinking of, Daniel Gafford, a guy that I think will be among the very best value plays on the slate as long as we get Derek Lively out, because his price hasn't gone up too much and everyone else's has. So that's kind of why I really like Grady Dick, Daniel Gafford. That 5K range of value is where I'm going to be going to today. Final two games on FanDuel. I want to save the best for last. So let's go Philadelphia and Sacramento. No Joel Embiid for this one. Andre Drummond is questionable. Kelly Oubre is questionable. Kyle Lowry is questionable. Eric Gordon is questionable. On the Sacramento side of things, we're fully healthy outside of Jay Crowder. Let's start with Philly. Maxey looks amazing. George looks very good. Yabusele will probably be a phenomenal value play as long as we get Drummond out.
Yeah, I mean, you said that you want to save the best for last, but really, Philly, I think, is fantastic today.
Yeah, I know. It's just the mega total in the other game.
No, I know. I mean, like, you have to save spots for this game. You absolutely have to. Tyrese Maxey is rating out extremely well, both in Sims and in optimal lineups on lineup HQ. Paul George is only 7,300. That's way too cheap with no Embiid on the court. I think you could play Andre Drummond at 4,300, assuming he plays. If he doesn't, you can just pivot.
Are you looking at DraftKings late slate prices?
Oh, I am, aren't I? But still, I mean, yeah. I think
we can still reference that for sure.
Yeah, like you could still play Drummond at 5,900. Okay, yeah. So I mean, 7,500 for George is still too cheap, and Tyrese Maxey is rating out very well in FanDuel Sims and in lineup HQ. He's going to be popular on FanDuel, but still, I think he's a fantastic play. I think Caleb Martin is a decent value. If we lose Drummond, Yabusele at 4,600, I think is fine. So this team you have to be saving spots for because they rate out extremely well. Kelly Oubre, if he were to play, I think he's fine. If he sits, I wonder who starts in his place. I guess it might be Ricky Council, maybe. I'm not really sure who would start in Oubre's place, but if Oubre were to miss,
I bet you they would do Lowry if he plays.
Okay.
I just don't know if he is either because he's also listed as questionable.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts for this team, so you definitely have to pay attention. The Atlanta Denver game is the best game overall on the night, but the 76ers on FanDuel is fantastic in terms of this one team. So you have to save spots for Philly tonight. And Sacramento, I don't really have a ton of interest in. I think DeMar is okay given his price tag, but I don't love it. There's just better options. We have Doug McDermott starting, but he's just more of like a fake starter. He shouldn't play a ton of minutes. I have no interest in him at all. You can always play Malik Monk. He does have a ceiling at 6,500, but I don't love him. I'm only getting my exposure to this game through Philly.
Sabonis at 9,600 with power forward eligibility, I think, is viable here. No Embiid. He should absolutely eat them up inside. One of my favorite plays to do here, I think, for on the Philly side of thing, is play some Caleb Martin at specifically power forward because he's $100 more than Yabusele. If Drummond is out, Yabusele becomes one of the best value plays on the slate, and so you just pivot from Martin to Yabusele at the power forward position. If Drummond plays, one, Martin is fine, but also if Kelly Oubre is out, that should add more usage and ball handling time to Caleb Martin, and so we would like him even more. So using Martin at 4,700 at power forward and then subbing to Yabusele if Drummond is out is one of my favorite things to do in this game. And then I think I would want either Maxey or George in most of the lineups that I'm playing, no matter how much I am on FanDuel. You could play them together, but I think one of Maxey or George is definitely going to be a priority over there. And if I'm playing both, I do like Sabonis as a run back. Atlanta and Denver, mega total in this one, Tim, 247.5. We got Atlanta going into the Mile High City in Denver, and Jalen Johnson is listed as questionable. Jokic is 12.8K on a slate that we don't have much value, Tim. It's going to be hard as hell to get there, but he could outscore everybody else by 20 fantasy points on this slate.
Right now, I can't get to him. I just can't. I'm not. If you are comfortable doing it, go for it. Obviously, he's always fantastic. It's just too hard right now. But yeah, he could easily put up 85, 90 draft FanDuel points here. So I can't do it. I just don't have the value. I think you get exposure to this game through Murray or Westbrook on the Denver side. If Jalen Johnson sits, DeAndre Hunter would be a fantastic play at 6,100. Trae Young, I think, is in a fantastic spot here. So, I mean, and then if Jalen Johnson plays, I really like Jalen Johnson. So, I mean, Denver's really been struggling defensively. So, I think this is just a really good spot to get exposure to. You should be playing, I think, at least one Atlanta piece here. So, I mean, Trae's my favorite. Then it would be Hunter if Johnson sits. If Johnson plays, then I would consider playing Johnson. Yeah. And I don't mind Capella. I just don't think he has much of a ceiling here.
A couple people have brought up that they've been getting to Capella in a lot of sims, and I personally think I like Okongwu a little bit better, actually. He'll come in probably half the ownership of Capella. You get power forward eligibility for him there. And I could just easily see a scenario where, Capella starts the game, picks up 2 early fouls because he has to guard Jokic. And because of that, Onyeka Okongwu gets some extended minutes here. So $5,200 Okongwu, I think, is very viable. This whole team we want to get to if Jalen Johnson's out. Like, Hunter becomes awesome, but also like a Zach Risa-Shea at $4,300, I think, becomes a good play. Maybe you can even, I don't think I'd want to, but maybe you could even look at Vit Krejci, who's been playing more minutes lately, if we get Jalen Johnson out of this one. Trae Young, top play on this team, though. And then both of the bigs. I think I like Okongwu a little bit better than Capella in large field tournaments, though.
I should say real quick that Hunter is still a good play, even if Johnson starts. Hunter's the sixth man. Hunter's been playing fantastic out of that role. So even if Johnson plays, you can still play Hunter in this game for sure.
Denver side of things, we mentioned that it's going to be real tough to play at 12-8 Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray's been playing some really good basketball lately. He's 8-6. He's gone over 50 in 2 of his last 3, and the one he didn't was at 47 DK points. He's been playing real good basketball. Westbrook has rediscovered the fountain of youth. Who knows where this came from, but another triple-double last night. He's been playing great. Still no Aaron Gordon, so that leaves the starting lineup being rounded out as Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Brown, who is looking like a very strong value play as well. Who do you like here on Denver? I think it's just all the starters and only the starters.
Yeah, you're not playing any of the bench pieces from Denver. Russ is probably my favorite, and then Murray, then probably Brown is okay. Obviously, if we had value, I'd love to play Jokic. I just don't think you can tonight. It's just too difficult. So if more value opens up, then definitely play Jokic. But right now, I can't get to him. So I would start with Westbrook if you want to get exposure to Denver.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. It feels terrible to pay $7,300 for him, but he's been doing it. He's been playing that well. APK Stonework saying, I heard TJ downplaying Whitmore. Sounds a lot like when Chief was downplaying Kuminga before his 60. Well, Whitmore is a lot like a player like Kuminga. He's very, very volatile. He could get you 8 points. He could get you 38 points. And I don't mind Whitmore one bit if Tari Eason's out. If he's in, I don't go there. But if Eason's out, you absolutely can play Whitmore for 4K. All I said was I think I like at $3,200 Jayshawn Tate in that scenario as well. Anybody else on anything else for Denver or Atlanta you want to hit?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, we still have about 10, 15 minutes-ish before the crunch time crew comes in here. And so we'll go through Dean's go-to in these scenarios, some of the expert survey questions for you here, Tim. And I think it'll be important, much like we do on the expert survey when we write it, to differentiate our plays and our answers based on FanDuel and DraftKings, because they are not the same slate today. They are two totally different plays. But who would be your spend-up play for cash games on both sides? Who's the number one priority to spend for?
I probably would go with Giddy.
That feels so weird. What a slate, eh?
Right, because there's no good value. So I can't say Jokic, right? I don't think I can say Towns. I don't think I can say Cunningham. So I have to play somebody who's kind of in that mid range and just stay in the mid range. So I think it's Giddy.
Jordan Poole available to play, so that drops down things.
I would say though, my favorite spend up for FanDuel cash would be Maxey.
Yeah, definitely Maxey on FanDuel, 100%.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guy Derek Ringering for gifting his free week of RotoGrinders Premium to another user. Steve, let me know what we're doing with that. Did he give it to somebody else specific? So it looks like RC Slayer, RC Player 07 got the free week. Shout out to Derek for giving that away. Let's hit some questions in the chat here, and then we'll go back to the expert survey stuff. What do you think about Garrison Matthews today at shooting guard?
Yeah, I mean, it's so thin everywhere in terms of value. I don't love it, but I could see doing it in a portfolio teams, but not like a single entry though.
Do we like anyone from Toronto with RJ out and quickly in? Yeah, Scotty Barnes I think is a bit too expensive on DraftKings, but he's still very viable on FanDuel. And then Grady Dick and Jakob Poeltl I think have very solid price tags for this matchup, considering RJ Barrett is out. And Mr. Richard is asking, what do you think about Poeltl for single entry on DraftKings?
I think he's okay.
Just all right.
Yeah. I want to see how much of a bump he got. I'm going to look at the log real quick.
Yeah, I think he does get a rebounding bump without RJ Barrett. I can't remember if it's without Barrett or without Barnes, but without one of them, he gets a very significant bump. Anger asking anyone from Washington move up the list with Poole in. I mean, Poole is playable, but definitely nobody moves up the list. Everybody moves significantly down the list with Jordan Poole there in the lineup. Who would be your favorite low-owned play for tournaments tonight to spend up with?
Şengün is only going to be 5% projected right now on DK, so I like that.
Like the Şengün call. I think I'll probably go with Karl Anthony Towns. For me, I think Towns is going to have himself a big night against Utah, but I like that Şengün call quite a bit. Who would be your favorite salary saver for cash on the two sites today? I guess probably Lonzo on DraftKings, eh?
It's Lonzo. Yeah.
Chris Longo bringing up the $100 price difference between Martin and Yabusele on FanDuel. Yeah, that's the reason why I think you play Caleb Martin at power forward on FanDuel today. And then if you get Drummond out, you make the swap to Yabusele. You can play Yabusele regardless, but I think I'd like Martin a little bit more if Kuminga is in. Or sorry, APK Stoneworks talking about Kuminga again. But if Drummond is in, I think I would like Caleb Martin a little bit more than Yabusele. Who would be your favorite low-owned salary saver today?
I guess I really gotta dig for one of those. Man, it's so. I guess Tyrese Martin. He's gonna be under 20%. I do like him.
I'll go Derek Lively get Daniel Gafford for mine, but like on the cheap, I like the Tyrese Martin call. And I think the Miami Bigs are going to be a sneaky tournament play today.
I was just going to say Jovic.
Yeah, Jovic, and I'll even play some Cattell Ware, Kevin Love. I don't care. I'm going to give it a shot on such a gross slate. DK Cash, are you cool playing Giddey and Kobe White, even though Levine is back?
I would play Giddey and Ball and leave Kobe off for cash.
Giddey and Ball and leave Kobe off. All right. Who are you most afraid of not having today?
Jokic is one for sure. But he's not going to be super chalky. Of a more popular option that I'm nervous not having is, well, I guess it's probably somebody like Bam. He's projected for pretty high ownership, but I think he's in a pretty good spot. So I'm a little bit nervous not having him because I'm going to pivot to Şengün. Another guy that I'm kind of nervous not having would probably be Josh Hart's projecting for pretty high ownership as well. They are all in a pretty good spot. So I'm pretty nervous not having some of these Knicks wings.
APK Stonework saying we didn't talk, hasn't heard any talk about D'Angelo Russell. Well, that's because that was at the beginning of the show. Because we go game by game in that order. D'Angelo Russell is probably one of the players we spent the most time on today because he has the biggest differential on ceiling to floor combo today, I think, of any player on the slate. If he gets plugged into the starting lineup, we play him in cash, we play him in single entry. He's going to be chalky, but he becomes one of the best value plays optimally on the slate. All we'd have to worry about was whether or not he's going to get the minutes in his first game back. I think you may be projecting yourself a little bit here, APK Stoneworks. I'm not sure where you found offense in that one, but let's keep on going to the next set of questions here. You're only a one lineup guy, but who do you think would be you'd be most overweight on in this one? For me, it's going to be an abundance of 1% owned cheap value plays. But who would be your like, I want to get significantly over the field guys?
Probably Tyrese Martin. I definitely would play a lot of Russell if he was starting. Şengün, definitely. I want to be over on him. I mean, I know he's gonna be chalky, but I do like Lonzo Ball quite a bit.
Yeah, he's probably just the most likely guy to get us like a good 5x for his price tag today. Like that seems like the most. He's probably not going to get you 40 DK points today and have a massive 10x game, but he seems like one of the safest to get like a good 20 fantasy points 5x and just not ruin your lineup in terms of value options today. What do you think about a little KCP revenge?
I was really hoping we wouldn't have to worry about KCP at this point in the show, but he's still rating out amazing. Yeah, he's fine. Not because of the revenge, but he's fine.
What do you think about Javon Carter? No, I don't think we're getting to him with Zach LaVine in.
No, I don't think we need to play him.
What do you think about Cam Johnson today? We kind of brushed past him when we were talking about Brooklyn, but he's been playing some solid basketball recently, and he's literally the one guy who's like a scorer left on their team.
Yeah, I wonder though, like if he would kind of get less usage if Russell were to start. So if Russell starts, I probably wouldn't play Cam Johnson. But if he doesn't, I don't hate that play.
Dancing Fighter G, do we fade Colby White with LaVine in? I still really like really like White for tournaments, and I think LaVine is very viable for tournaments too. But White probably no longer a cash guy because you're going Giddy, you're going Lonzo Ball in cash. But I still think he is very, very viable for tournaments. Do you prefer making pivots off of the chalk spend ups or chalk value? Totally depends on the player for me. Like
depends on the slate too.
Depends on the slate, the player, how many other options there are. The reason I'm going to be going on the big pivots today off of the cheap chalk, like who do we have currently? Let me do a refresh.
It's like we got KCP,
Lonzo Ball, Patrick Williams. I'm like, those are going to be guys I'm going to be underweight on today. And I'm just going to take shots on a bunch of random others. And that's just because I think, to me, today the value chalk options look bad, but it's different on every single slate.
Lonzo Ball has a 1.72 RG value. That is really bad. Okay. Like sometimes we see value in NBA slates of like 8, 9, 7, like 1.72. Like the value today is extremely shaky. So this slate, I'd be looking for pivots off of this chalky value.
Yeah, me too. QQ, Grady Dick or D'Angelo Russell and a DK GPP. I think for me, that's Dick. Unless Russell starts, then it would be Russell.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That'll do for the questions. If I'm not mistaken, we got 2 of the 3 crunch time hosts here, but still waiting on Kirkdiese. But guess what? We're going to bring him in anyway because we've covered everything that we can cover, Tim. And so let's say hello to Neil. Let's say hello to Roth. And then we'll see Kirkdiese very shortly as well. I can already see in the little squares on StreamYard, Roth has got a nice little fleece jacket on. He's looking good. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So let's bring the crunch time crew in. Gentlemen, how you doing? I think I might have something that might be like the same one, Roth. That looks pretty good.
It's very bourbon on the rocks would be amazing. Thank you.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm doing great.
Wow.
Wow.
Are we at a restaurant?
Yeah. No. It's New Year's Day, celebrating, fishing, hanging out here on the water, and
you're still drunk, aren't you? From yesterday?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, 2025, baby. Let's go. Let's do it.
Ringing into the new year. What's good, Neil? What's good, Kirkdiese? Nice to see you. That was, I know I'll never be as quite as fluid with it as Dean is at killing time on a slate where there's not much to talk about. But my goodness, is this the worst 6-game slate on DraftKings I've ever spent an hour and 20 minutes breaking down?
I'm really glad that this is a 3-man show because I'm struggling with what I want to do on this slate. I heard you guys talking about not wanting to play Lonzo Ball and Patrick Williams coming in. I wrote up Patrick Williams as one of my favorite plays on the slate earlier, but I'm also like not that confident in that take because I agree with you. Like it feels like kind of gross chalk, like as the ownership has come up a little bit, but also we don't have much else, and I kind of love that game environment. So I'm really struggling with what to do on this slate. So happy to have other voices to talk through it.
Well, I am going to need some help with you guys breaking it down as well. Tim, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Nope, I think I'm good.
All
Hey,
right.
Tim, real quick.
Yo.
We're actually gonna. My family and I are actually coming to Bar Harbor. We've decided. My
Hey,
wife
man.
really wants to go. So
I've
Text me.
been there.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
My dad used to keep his boat there for a summer or two.
love that.
Yeah.
We're
went
gonna
sailing
wait
out
until
there.
it's not, like freezing cold, obviously. But
Yeah, I was gonna say
good
wait
show.
till like July, August, September.
that's the game plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Smart.
We'll
How,
make it happen.
how far are you, Tim, from there?
From
Where in Maine are you?
I live in Bar Harbor.
Oh, you were from Bar Harbor. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, big plan to go visit Tim.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I guess we're gonna have a party.
Everybody
Nation,
in.
Jug Nation,
Everybody's
let's
in.
go. Come on.
Wow, we're going to Bar Harbor. All right, let's do it.
Bar Harbor.
All right. Have a good one, gentlemen. Take it away,
All right.
Rob.
See you guys.
Good stuff as always. Welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. Two of the sharpest minds in the biz walking you through the slate. We're going to take you up to lock. Somebody, Ruthless Villain, said fish fry at Tim's house. I think the fish fry is at my house tonight. I'm not sure if you can see the water there. Caught some good ones today. Today. And got two of my favorite people in the whole world kicking off 2025. Kirkdiese in the house. What's up, man? How are you, brother?
Doing well. I have a question. Just wondering if you dreamed of me last night to kick off the New Year's.
You know I did.
Just
Thank you so much.
You were so welcome.
So kind of you.
Mr. Weatherby.
Look at this life. Look at this. What a life, huh?
I'm at a neighbor's house and they're so friendly. My internet, I had everything set up and my internet leading up to the show just totally crapped out. Asked a neighbor if I could use their internet. And now there's not only do I have their internet, they just gave me the most giant cocktail I've ever seen in my life.
Out of a red Solo Cup. I'd love to see
It
the
is,
red
yeah.
Solo Cup.
And like, it's just straight whiskey. It's a good way to start 2025.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a show. I'll tell you that. You feeling good, Kirkwood? How was your closeout, your New Year's Eve?
Yeah, it was completely uneventful. We hung in, we chilled here, didn't do much, got the kid. So and today was crappy weather out all day, so we kind of hung around all day today too. So I'm not living life like you are today.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. When they get a little older, the kid, you got to do the Netflix shows where you just put on a fake countdown. So you hold them up like 30 minutes late, and then you play a show that is like a New Year's Eve countdown, and then they drop the fake ball, and then you celebrate, and then you put them to bed at like 8 instead of 7:30.
That's a good tip, huh?
Sounds sharp.
Just letting you know. We got Neil in the house as well. What up, Neil? How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I sort of bad timing this past week with I had my brother and his whole family were in town, and I was just swamped with NFL stuff. Now I feel like my schedule just wide open with the NFL, kind of winding down. We still have one more week of the regular season, but a lot of the content that I usually do not happening. So like I feel like this big, relief right now, able to join this show late because a lot of the content I usually do not going forward. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like some stress relieved after a very busy couple of months with NBA and NFL overlapping recently.
Yeah, and then NFL and college football both kind of starting to tail off. We'll come to a close soon, and then we get a minute before baseball starts. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Oh my God! All right, we're already close to that.
I know it's literally 3 months away, not even. Anyway, hey, we're here to break down this slate. Apparently, it's a boring slate, or it's a not easy to digest slate. I don't know, Neil. How would you describe the slate?
Yeah, I would describe it. I mean, there's no boring slates, right? Somebody's going to win money tonight. Hopefully one of us will win some money tonight, but it is a difficult to break down slate because we don't have any great value. And I kind of want to lean into the Chicago-Washington game just because two of the worst defenses, fastest paced teams playing against each other. That's exciting. And it's not that big of a spread. So that game kind of stands out to me, but also the pieces that I want to play are sort of chalky, and I don't know. It's a tough one. There's not a ton of value on the slate. That's the biggest story of this slate. Is it's just tough to find great value. But we will do our best.
Okay, that's a bummer. I don't like slates like that, to be honest. But let's dive into it here. We've got FanDuel to go through. We've got DraftKings to go through. I'm not kidding you. This is just a full solo cup of whiskey to go through as well as we do the show. I may vomit halfway through the show. I don't know. I'm not. I only drink beer, so this is new for me.
Oh wow.
Let's dive into it. Kirkdiese, you get the honor, my man, of starting us off. FanDuel point guard. What do you like?
Well, I really appreciate that. Thanks for the honor.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey is my favorite. Well, this is FanDuel, so we've got 2 night games, so we should probably make that clear first off.
Okay. Yeah, that is important.
There are 2 extra games, and they're both good ones. It's Atlanta at Denver, which has a monster 246.5 point total. And then we've got Philly at Sacramento without Embiid. And we also have Drummond questionable, and that's pretty big news we got to wait for because, I mean, Yabusele's probably in play anyway. But and if Drummond, if he's in, will be absolutely be in play. And if Drummond's out, Yabusele, has to play a ton of minutes. So that's pretty big news. But for the point guard position, so that's why I like Tyrese Maxey a lot. He's gonna be a good scorer. It's a good game environment with Sacramento. So he's one of my favorite plays of anything on the slate tonight. We can also talk about who's going to be the chalkiest, and that's probably going to be Josh Giddey over on FanDuel. And
I feel like he was the chalkiest a night or two ago, and it worked. It was he did his thing.
He's been smashing. Yeah. So he's a solid play. I got nothing wrong to say about him. Jalen Suggs is a really strong play too with a good matchup with Detroit, and they are missing Anthony Black and Queen is out as well. It just solidifies that he's going to be ball handling. They don't really have a solid ball handler, especially with what's his name? God, I'm just drawing a blank. I'll get it for you.
I'm not listening closely.
Cole Anthony is on in the doghouse. So Jalen Suggs, just great role. Has a wrist injury a little bit, which might be scary, but he's playing good to go. So
is he the only player left on that team? I guess is
Goga
Wagner out?
No, Wagner's out. It's Goga. I hear it. It's De Silva so there's some value in this game.
Okay, but my question was, is he the only good player on that team?
Yes. Well, so Goga Batadze is pretty good, at least, especially from a fantasy perspective. Wendell Carter Jr. is available and playing. He's all right. But yes, Suggs is going to be the thing with Suggs is he's great on the defensive end, and you just need he's taken a huge leap forward this season on the offensive end and also facilitating the offense. So he should be priced even higher with this role probably. So I think he's a strong play. But yeah, Tristan Da Silva, good value play. I think you could play some KCP if you want. That's never fun. But and especially I feel like KCP after New Year's Eve is a red flag. But that's just me. Anyway, Malik,
you know him personally? Yes.
He's been drunk driving arrests, and he's had some alcohol issues, I think. Yeah. I don't, he could be sober, for all I know, like Draft Cheat and like Siege, shout out to them for announcing that on Twitter, how they're sober now. But anyways, Malik Monk, also good play. Emmanuel Quickly's back. I'm not playing. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't know anything about the minutes. They just said they're going to be monitored or something, something like that. We don't know what it is, so never want to get in that. But Russell Westbrook has been balling.
He crushed the other night too.
Yeah. Lonzo Ball is cheap source of value. It's the only thing is good is the matchup. He's not playing big minutes. He's probably projects for 20 to 22, somewhere around there. But it is against Washington, and it is a slate that we're, looking for value. And, with each game, he should be getting a little bit better and better. So,
I did not know he was still alive. I thought that his Achilles were gone. His knees, his ACLs, MCLs, PCLs, they were all gone. It's good to hear we can play him again. Neil, what are we doing at point guard?
Yeah, a lot of the same nice breakdown there from Kirk. I am getting to the most right now of Malik Monk, Jalen Suggs, Josh Giddey, Jamal Murray. I am playing some Emmanuel Quickly, even at reduced minutes. He's only 5,500 on FanDuel, so I'm getting some there. Tyrese Maxey, Ben Simmons, Jalen Brunson. As of now, we are still waiting on. We just got some update. Derek Lively available to play. Anything else? No. Okay. Fred VanVleet, DeJounte Murray, Russell Westbrook. Lonzo Ball is, as of right now, I'm still planning on playing him. I am like, I don't know exactly what to do with Lonzo Ball because he played 26 minutes in their most recent game. That was an overtime game. So it's like, okay, that we can't expect him to play those 26 minutes, but also he's pretty good, I think, still. And it was at least promising to know that he can play 26 minutes. It was the most he's played yet this year. So like he's at least like he can play more minutes if they want him to. And it's a really strong matchup against Washington. So I think I'm going to keep it. And he is the final player for me that I'm getting to double digits right now. Maybe Cade Cunningham. Maybe I'll get him to double digits. Oh, actually, Kobe White. I'll probably force in a bit more Kobe. Actually, I don't think I'm playing on FanDuel tonight, but at 6,900, I think he is a strong play just again because of that matchup. He is coming in at somewhat low ownership on FanDuel. So I do want to give a shout out to Kobe White. I would force my way to double digits if I were playing on FanDuel tonight.
Okay. I'm hearing KCP got a Dewey 40 minutes after his game ended with the Pistons.
Yeah. So he was drinking. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's true. It's like, so he was one. He's definitely, if you've watched him play, he's definitely played games drunk before.
I ran into drunk Charlie Villanueva after a game, and it was literally 30-40 minutes after the game, and the guy was visibly drunk. And I was like, how is this? This is the bar that I go to after the game, and you are already shit-faced. How?
We got time to kill, so I'm going to throw one little story in here for the people who don't know this. I've said this many times, but I have an Antoine Walker story. So I don't know if you guys know about his downfall and whatnot with gambling. Well, the funny thing is, so this was a long time. I went to Foxwoods Casino, and I was playing, and I'm a degenerate. So I was a degenerate. So I was playing like high stakes blackjack in the high stakes room, and literally the Celtics game got over like 40 minutes ago, or like less than an hour ago, and somehow this dude made it and walked into the high limits section, and he was playing. I was playing all night, and he was playing at the table next to me all night. I tried to play with him. He didn't want anybody. He wanted to just go one-on-one the whole time. But I didn't know he had a gambling problem or anything like that. But then when that all came out, it was like, I was like,
yeah, you were egging him on. You're like, let's go bigger. But now you see it. All right. This, by the way, this cup of whiskey is going to kill me. Neil, do you drink? Are you a liquor guy?
I'm a bourbon guy. Yeah, I drink bourbon. So seeing the way that you respond to it is pretty funny to me. The bourbon on the rock is like my go-to.
Yeah, the flannel. This is my go-to. This is a nice light beer that I brought over to the home. This is a Union flight. This is going to murder me in the next 27 minutes. We need to get to shooting guard. I'm barely capable of keeping this show on the rails. So Neil, what are we doing at shoot? And wait, did you mention something about Brunson and waiting for news?
Yeah, well, I think he's probable, right?
Oh.
Is the
he's in. Yeah, he's in. That's fine.
He's in.
All right, what are we doing? I don't mean that.
No, he is questionable. He is actually legitimately questionable on the latest injury report.
Let's say he is out. Does everything get scrapped and we're like, holy bleep, we need to play X?
Probably.
And who is X?
You're going to get Nick McBride.
Yeah, Miles McBride would probably be the biggest beneficiary. I'd have to look at Popcorn Machine. Usually I'm pretty reliant on just waiting for the projection updates. But yeah, I mean, that would be on a slate where there is limited value. When you get late news and a short slate where it's all like within an hour of all the games start within an hour of each other, at least on DraftKings, that's the case. I'd be pivoting quite a bit. Like all of a sudden, all those New York guys, because it's pretty condensed right now in terms of like points per dollar across the slate. Those New York guys are going to come in at like underweight where they should be. So I would be pivoting quite a bit onto some of that New York value that opens up.
Okay, good note. Take me to shooting guard. What do you like there?
Yep. So Paul George, my highest exposed shooting guard on FanDuel. Malik Monk, Jalen Suggs, a lot of the same at point guard. Josh Giddey, Kelly Oubre, who is also a game time decision, so we'll have to keep an eye on the news there. Jamal Murray, Emmanuel Quickley, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, KCP, Zach LaVine, Chris Braun, Mikal Bridges, and Duncan Robinson. Somebody in chat pointed out that I'm playing everybody today. That is kind of true because it's not a slate where anybody's really standing out. So if I'm playing a lot of lineups, I am going to be like, that's kind of how I play in large field. So those are all the players that I'm getting to of double digits. That is, if I find something that I like significantly more than the field, I will lean into that more. But as of right now, not really seeing anything. Again, Kobe White, though, would be another player that I'm going to bump up if I were going to play on FanDuel.
Okay, Kirkwood, shooting guard.
Shooting guard, it's Giddey again. Paul George is an excellent play with Embiid out. Hopefully he's a little more aggressive. I lean Maxey over Paul George, but I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to play Paul George over Maxey. Suggs is a guy I like, a lot of the same names. Kelly Oubre is questionable and truly questionable. He would be a solid play. He gets a usage bump, and with Embiid out, and there's a lot of usage up for grabs, obviously, in that scenario. And he's priced pretty cheap. He's 5,700, so he would be a pretty good play if he's in. So it's something to monitor. Malik Monk, I like. He's just getting great minutes now in the situation that he's been. So like that. I'll give a play I don't like that I think is going to be kind of popular. I think Jamal Murray is going to be popular, and I'm actually more on Russ tonight because of defensive matchups. So I've ticked down Jamal Murray in this spot. But other than that, you could also play Christian Braun, who will get first of all, it's a great game environment. Like I said, the Denver and Atlanta are playing Atlanta, and he'll probably be the guy that they hide Trae Young on, Christian Braun. So he'll have the opportunity to have a good game. It's, he's not the greatest, but could work out for you. And that's about it for me.
You mentioned not DeJounte. Who did you say was questionable, but he's a good play at 5,700?
Kelly Oubre.
Oubre.
Yeah.
Let's say he's out. Is there now, because I think he was penciled in for 34 minutes. If he is out, is there someone that you want, Kirkwood?
Yeah, I don't really know how it would shake out. I mean, I would just boost Maxey more for sure, and Paul George more. They'll take on the scoring role. I don't know if there's anyone else like Caleb Martin would certainly benefit in that situation, but he's still Caleb Martin. So I think I would just lean towards Paul George and Maxey, and then obviously with the Dancing Bear Yabusele.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up the Dancing Bear. All right, small forward, what are you doing there?
All right, small forward. Just check it. All right, Paul George again, Cameron Johnson. The guy, just massive usage for the Nets. They're just thinner and thinner. It is going to be interesting to see D'Angelo Russell play tonight and to see if he starts. He's a really strong play on DraftKings. Not as much, a little bit riskier here on FanDuel, but he's cheap on DraftKings. So if he starts, I would put him in instantly on DraftKings. I think could just have a great role right from the start. But Cameron Johnson is the guy right now. Who's going to get most of the usage. D'Angelo Russell will certainly come in and take a bunch of that. But those are the guys. OG Anunoby from the Knicks. You can play anyone on the Knicks because of Tibbs. The matchup is as good as it gets. Utah is horrendous on the defensive end. So all the Knicks guys, like we've been saying, will be played, especially if Brunson's out. Brunson's in. He's fine. My favorite play on the night, because he's going to be kind of low on too, is going to be Cat. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Michael Porter Jr., I like, and just that monster total, 6,700 seems fine. Jalen Johnson is another strong play, but he's now he's tagged as questionable on the Hawks, and that makes me want to just be ready to play more Trae Young. And I think that's really how I would handle it. But whether he plays or not, I like Trae, and that's about it.
Okay, Neil, we did just get news that Lively will be on a 15 to 18 minute restriction today. Does that make you think, all right, I want Gafford, or he's already priced up, or
Kleba maybe? Yeah, I mean,
God,
yeah,
please.
Honestly, I'm trying. I haven't looked closely at Popcorn Machine to figure out the breakdown exactly. I'm going to rely on the projections update with those guys, but that is pretty interesting on a slate where we don't have much value. I think like that makes Gafford playable, but not necessarily like somebody you really want to lean into. And then Kleba, I mean, just a little bit of a projection at his price, so it'll look pretty good. And the answer to Kirkwood's question is, Ross should definitely go streaking.
Yeah, no, I don't drink liquor for a reason, and this is not going to end well for me. What are you doing at shooting guard, Neil? Sorry,
small forward.
Small forward. Thanks.
And again, a lot of the same players. Paul George at the top for me right now at small forward. Caleb Martin, number 2 there for me at small forward. Kelly Oubre, so a lot of the Sixers. And of course, if Oubre is out, then the others will look even better. Michael Porter Jr., Jonathan Isaac, OG Anunoby, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Johnson, Scotty Barnes, Cameron Johnson, Zach LaVine, who is currently a game time decision. Again, a lot of the Bulls will look even better if LaVine is ultimately out. Christian Brown, Mikal Bridges, Duncan Robinson, my final player that I'm currently getting to double-digit exposure at small forward.
Okay. Neil, take me to power forward. I have to say, I'm starting to get it. Now that the ice is melting a little bit, I'm starting to enjoy this. Now I'm like, actually, I kind of, this is working for me now.
Even as a veteran, like the first sip for me it's not like beer where it's like, oh my God, that's so good when it hits you. It's like the third sip, it kind of starts feeling like, okay, I like this now. So
that's where I'm at. Yeah. I'm starting to enjoy it now. And that's kind of scary. I don't think I want this in my life, but I'm going to. Roth is going to have the fish. Yeah, that's true. All right. What do power forward?
LaVine is officially in. I think he was in the starting lineup. So that's a good note there. We don't have to wait for that at all. At power forward, Goga Bitadze is currently my highest exposed power forward. Caleb Martin, Patrick Williams, again, I think I am going to play him. Noah Clowney, Michael Porter Jr., Jonathan Isaac, OG Anunoby, Jalen Johnson, Ben Simmons, Scotty Barnes, Cameron Johnson, Gershon Yabusele, Domantas Sabonis, and Jabari Smith is the final player that I'm getting to double digits at power forward. I'm debating if I might get to a little bit more. I think I probably will force in a little bit of Maxi Kleber. I do think he's pretty intriguing for large field tournaments. I'm curious to see where the minutes land on Kleber now that we know that Lively is pretty limited.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to stop you. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to stop you on that. Kirkwood, what are you doing at power forward?
Yeah. So Goga, probably one of the strongest plays in the slate. I wrote him up. He just mispriced for this role now. He's picking up a lot of usage on the offensive end. He's great with the peripheral stats, great rebounding, and then some steals and blocks. So it makes sense as a solid FanDuel play. He's also powerful forward eligible, so it makes it easier than if he was just center. Ben Simmons, I think he's viable tonight. I think he's a good play. I think it's going to be interesting to see if he starts or not, what's going to happen, and how the Brooklyn plays in general. But it's a matchup with Toronto. I mean, this is going to be like a G League type game, with RJ Barrett out too on the other end. Like, this game could be really good from a fantasy perspective. And they give up like the second most steals per game, I think it was, and that's when you're going to need him to get some steals and blocks, some stats on the defensive end. And 5,700, he could pay that off. But again, he's still Ben Simmons. Cameron Johnson, again. OG Anunoby, again. Shout to Neil's favorite player, Patrick Williams. At least favorite on DraftKings, I think it was.
I like him both.
He's in play. Clowney, man. Totally, I think Sabonis is going to be very low owned in a matchup without Embiid. I think this could be a really good spot for him too. So from a stud perspective.
Love that call. All right, take me to the center spot.
All right, let's move it on over. Okay, Goga again. You can play him at the center. Nick Claxton. They're just running out of bodies for Brooklyn that are viable plays. Minutes have been creeping up, which is nice. So projected for like 28 to 30 minutes. So that's a pretty strong spot against Toronto, 5,800. I like that. You could also play Clowney, same kind of concept with basically very similar play in general on Brooklyn, but he's 4,800. Vucevic, Bam Adebayo, Joker, right? Jokic, I think he went for 80 fantasy points already against Atlanta this season. And this monster total game could be very competitive, and he's pricey, but like you can make it work. And if he drops like an 80 bomb, which I was hoping Wemby did last night, which was my favorite play, and he was on his way to doing it, but then Toronto's so bad they just couldn't hang in the game.
Yeah.
But tonight, Joker could go for 80 again for sure.
Yeah, I saw Wemby drop legit numbers, and I don't even think he shot well from 3, and he got no minutes, and he still like put up insane numbers. That guy is
like 55 fantasy points. And I got one more play to highlight. Karl Anthony Towns. So if you think about it, like this is first of all, the matchup in general against Utah is amazing. They're dead last in defensive rating. They give up a ton of points in the paint, ton of opponent blocks, opponent steals, everything, right? And then they're also they've been the best play for opposing centers this season as well. And people will think in their head, like if you're thinking like Towns against Kessler, it might be a Jalen Brunson game if he clogs the middle. Towns is like the type of player that will cook Kessler, because he can shoot it from the outside.
Exactly. He'll play from outside.
Yeah, exactly. So his ownership's been going down all day. I'm showing like 5% for tonight, and I think he's gonna absolutely go smash tonight.
Yeah, and that's with Brunson still. If Brunson's out, that's an even better play, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right, Neil, your thoughts at center, and then we got to get to DK.
Goga Batadze, I'll go quickly. Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton, Domantas Sabonis, Vucevic, Alperen Şengün, Joker. I do think with the news that Jeremiah Robinson Earl is out, Yves Missy maybe becomes a little bit more interesting. He's only 6,100 on FanDuel. He played 35 minutes the last game without JRE, so I think he's in play at 6,100.
You mentioned Şengün, which means Rockets are on the table. I do believe my guy Amen Thompson is now suspended after he absolutely body slammed some little bitch. So somebody gets his minutes. Is it Cam Whitmore? Because if so, I want that dude. Is the other guy back who Amen Thompson was getting? Who on the Rockets do I want?
Good question.
Jalen Green.
No, not Jalen Green. F that dude.
Let's see.
God, I'm too drunk for this, guys.
No,
it's not my fault. It's the day
This is how I feel every day anyway.
The Rockets I'm getting to: Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith. Those are the 5 Rockets I'm getting to.
No, I don't mean to say no to you, but no. Tari Eason, is he out still?
So he's questionable.
Yeah.
Now, if he's out, that's when you want Cam.
If he's out, I want Cam, and if he's in, I want him.
Yeah.
Like if Tari Eason is in, I want Tari Eason. He's going to get a shitload of minutes, and assuming he's healthy. And I want Cam Whitmore if he's out. I lock that shit in. And by the way, the chat is all over it. The chat's like Tari Eason. So you're talking about you are correct. Sorry. All right. I think we have done that. We've done FanDuel. We've got 13 minutes. Freddie says Drunk Roth is amazing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start 2025 this way. I'm sorry. Okay. By the way, the holiday season is bringing us some amazing things like a Drunk Roth and some huge DFS contests for NBA, NFL. If you want to have a massive holiday takedown, we're taking $10 off your first month of Combo Lite. That means access to all of our SimLab prop lineup building tools and content from some of your favorite DFS analysts for $19.99. It's an affordable subscription that has everything you need to build effective lineup, score a big win this holiday season. That read is too long. That read is just too long.
You were praising it yesterday, like how great it was.
It's just too long. It feels disingenuous. It's so long that it feels disingenuous. It truly is a good deal.
The real Roth is out.
It's a great
Let's get
deal.
your questions, QQs. We'll get honest answers here. Let's go.
Hit your QQs, get your QQs in, and let's go to DK. We're just gonna do guard. We're just gonna do guard, point guard, shooting guard, just guard Kirkwood. Actually, you started first. Neil, guard on DK.
Yeah, guard on DK. I'm getting to a ton of D'Angelo Russell, 5,100. I think the last guy, the guys on the last show didn't love D'Angelo Russell. I'm just leaning into it. Matchup with Toronto. I think he's going to play big minutes. So I'm D'Lo, Lonzo Ball. I am playing a good amount of Kyrie Irving, KCP, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Kobe White, Trey Murphy, Dylan Brooks, DeJounte Murray, Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Jalen Suggs, Tyler Herro, Zach LaVine. I don't think I said, wait, did I say Kobe White? Maybe I did. Okay, good. Because I want to make sure I get some Kobe White in there.
Okay. Mr. Richard says, I wish we knew if D'Lo was starting. TJ says, I have 10% more D'Lo than the field. We don't know if D'Lo is starting. Will we know if D'Lo is starting?
The game starts at 7:30 Eastern, so we might not know before lock. I mean, that obviously would change things a bit. I'm working on the
starting. You want him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good note. Kirkwood, point guard. I think on DK.
Yeah.
Oh no, just guard.
Because we don't. The minute that will be it. Okay, just guard. So Russell again, obviously, I think he's going to start. I think it's a perfect spot. Like, it just makes a lot of sense to just get him feeling good and going off against the terrible Toronto defense. But we'll see. I mean, there's a real chance that he plays 15, 20 minutes off the bench or something like that just to acclimate himself. But if he starts, then it's giddy up. Kobe White, definitely in play. Neil mentioned Tyler Hero. I like it. That's the little bitch that Amin threw down, right?
Body slam. Body slam.
Yeah. That just I love the I like the Rockets. I like them more and more. I think the coach, everybody's just a badass on that team, really. You know what I mean? So they're trying to be. It's almost like the new Pistons, and for
they're so likable.
Soft generation, like the soft generation, like this is the soft version. The soft generation's Pistons.
I freaking love. I love the Rockets. Yeah, I'm a big fan of what they're doing. I'm glad that you said that. It makes me happy. It's kind of like what Boston's doing, honestly.
Well, like we're not. We're just winning,
But you play D. That's
we play good D, but we're not as tough as the Rockets. Anyways, Bridges, any of the Knicks guys, big minutes from Tibbs, and Jalen Suggs. I've mentioned a bunch like him. I kind of like Kyrie Irving tonight against Houston. If that game, I think that's the guy you want. On Dallas for sure. So I think if that game's going to be a good competitive game, it's going to have to be on Kyrie's back, and you can play some Houston guys. I do like Jalen Green, even though Roth doesn't like him. I do like Fred VanVleet, so I like those guys. But and Lonzo Ball is a cheap value.
Yeah. The reason I don't like Jalen Green is because he is the antithesis of like tough.
Yeah, he's fine because he can be a bitch and start something, and then the other guys.
That's true. That's true. Kirkwood, if there was a fight between all the RotoGrinders people and you had to pick someone that you would not want to fight, who would you pick?
Probably you, but
I feel like Stevie.
Stevie's a bad. Stevie. He first day where he's not a full-time right. It's sad to see that happen. Stevie's a badass. Like, Stevie looks so much more like a badass in person when you meet him than he does. Like, some people look even worse than you expect. Like, Stevie's completely opposite. You meet Stevie, he just commands like a room. He's like
Stevie's like 6'5" and big and just athletic
and like not as overweight as you would think, you know what I mean?
He's just big and strong and athletic.
Yeah.
Some people saying Chop, like, Derek says Chop seems like a biter. Maybe. Beer is a big dude, but Beer is so nice that like Beer, I don't know, he's too nice, right?
I don't know.
All right. Cheese, Cheese with the massive hands.
Cheese is the guy you got to go after first if you had to. You want that matchup.
Cheese is so kind. Cheese is the nicest dude in the universe. All right, sorry, I got sidetracked. I think we did guard. I don't know where we're at. Neil, are you at forward?
Bring it over to the small forward.
Yeah, bring him just forward in general. Neil, forward in general.
You want me to start? Okay.
Yeah, please.
Patrick Williams is my highest exposed forward currently. Noah Clowney, KCP, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Tristan Da Silva, Wendell Carter Jr., Jonathan Isaac, Trey Murphy, Mikal Bridges, Dylan Brooks, Alexander Sarr, Zach LaVine, Oscar Thompson, and that is everybody that I'm getting to in double digits at the moment.
At both small forward and power forward, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like on DK at your util, you do not have a lot of forwards.
Yeah, it doesn't look that way. The highest I'm getting to is Patrick Williams. I have 39% currently, and that's my highest exposure. And not that many. Okay.
We did not mention TJ. TJ says he's not a fighter, but among's this crew, maybe. Yeah, that's we're not the most imposing.
He's Canadian. He's out off the bat.
That's true. He's a pacifist by nature. Kirkwood, did you know that TJ used to be swole AF? He was like a bodybuilder. Did you know that, Kirkwood?
Dude, you should have seen me in college.
Yeah, I was swole too once upon a time.
Yeah, all right. Kirkwood, what are you doing at the forward spot? That's small forward and power forward combined.
All right. So, the best play probably is. Hold on, sorry.
All right.
Okay. Goga, in my opinion, just for the price, like just solid play at forward on either side. Giddy is in play. Paul George, we like. Jalen Suggs. Oh no, what I'm looking at shooting. Sorry, I didn't click it over. What the hell? Sorry, now I feel like I'm the drunk. I'm having fun in chat because people are saying Roth is the tough drunk guy now. Like all of a sudden Roth wants to start a fight.
I don't. I do that honestly. I used to. I mean, like, what? There's 40 of us. You want to go? Let's go.
So Goga, Paul George, Cam Johnson, OG, Michael Porter Jr. is in play. We're waiting on the Kelly Oubre news, but if he goes, 5,700 is a great play against Sacramento. Ben Simmons, I've given my breakdown on that. I think this actually could be a good spot for him. And for value, if you're searching Patrick Williams, I'll say again.
We have 3 minutes until lock. The family that was so kind to invite me over here is now looking at me like, "Are you going to leave?" Or or is that yes? No, I'm good. Thank you so much. They offered me another drink actually.
They know you have another show after this?
No. They can't hear you, thankfully. Let's go to center. Kirkwood, what are you doing?
Reiterate Goga. You can play him at center. Oh, I'm looking at. Are we on DraftKings now?
Yeah.
We're on DraftKings.
Yeah, sorry.
What have you been doing?
I was clicked on FanDuel. That last thing. Sorry, I'm losing it over to you.
Yeah, and people are judging me.
Yeah, that's how I can get away with it. Center's kind of gross on DraftKings, just like because it's tough to play the really expensive guys, but obviously, and we don't have the 2 late games. I love Towns at this ownership. He's 10-4 is a heavy price tag too. I just think he's going to absolutely nuke this matchup. There's blowout concern, but the blowout concern with Tibbs isn't as bad because he's going to run these guys late anyway. Alex Sarr is a good play. I always like him if he can hit some of those threes. He's off and running. This is a good matchup for threes and in general against Chicago. Goga, I've been saying Noah Clowney. Bam Adebayo, I think, is a solid play. Nick Claxton, kind of cheap. Şengün on the higher end. And that's about it. I don't know. Maybe Neil likes Valanciunas, but I don't know. I want to hear some.
I literally just gave a slight bump to Valanciunas to make sure that I'm getting into double digits with JVal. Again, that's just looks like a game that I want to play. Yeah, I think he looks like a strong play. I'm like right around 10%, not really going crazy there.
Sure. Dart throw. A little bit. A little J.
No Clowney. Yeah. Just nice matchup. No Clowney, Goga, Wendell Carter Jr., Jonathan Isaac. So a lot of magic at the top for me at center. Karl Anthony Towns, I gave a bump to make sure I got above weight to the field. Missy, same thing. Gave a little bit of a bump because I think he could see 35 minutes again. Daniel Gafford is only 5,400 and should see more minutes. Alexander Sarr, Jakob Pertl, another player I gave a bump to. Şengün, Nick Claxton, JVal, and that is it as far as double digits at center for me.
Unfortunately, I'm going to put you on the spot. Mike B says JVal or Gafford.
Probably Gafford.
Okay, all right, but you're cool with both plays.
Yeah,
I
like both guys.
All right, let's see if we got any questions. All right, I looked in the Discord. Bill T says, "A great supper tonight: corned beef brisket, boiled cabbage, and cornbread." All right, that's great. Yeah, sounds delicious. Any Brunson?
What do they got? They offer you any food over there?
No, but I'm really overstaying my welcome. Now they're letting the dogs out. They're like, let's scare them off. I'm overstaying my welcome. I'm glad lock is in less than a minute. Better tournament play, pool or hero, Kirkwood?
I like hero for sure.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Favorite FanDuel GPP spend up, Neil?
FanDuel GPP spend up. Maybe Cat.
Okay. Very good.
Let's go.
No, it wouldn't be Cat. Maybe I don't know. It's Brunson looks
Joker?
good if he plays. Cat if no Brunson would look pretty good. Joker's a strong spend up. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting close to lock. There's very few questions, which is weird. Usually there's a whole bunch of them. Brunson's out. Brunson's out. Brunson's out. We got to talk about it real quick.
Yes.
How much time do we have?
It's everybody. It's McBride is a great source of value. All the other guys like Mikael Bridges, Hart, they all get boosts. And I love Cat anyway, and I like him even more.
Yeah.
Why did they wait until the lock to give us that news? We could have adjusted for it.
Well, that's why I asked. That's why I'm a pro. I asked this ahead of time. What if he's out?
You did.
I asked that 5 minutes into the show, half drunk off whiskey. I said, "What if?"
Maybe will campaign come into play without Jalen Brunson? I think it'll mostly be Miles McBride. Where's
OG?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else looks better.
Like the whole big minutes guys for sure.
But
and then McBride is like the one who should boost a bunch of minutes.
All right, yeah. So McBride is like the lock. Oh, Meansy. I didn't say Meansy. Wait, pause. I know that we're
college
trying
basketball
to digest this, but if there's a person you don't want to fight at RG, it's probably the 6'5" former college basketball player. Meansy might be the answer.
A lot of big dudes at
Stevie versus Meansy. Who would you bet on?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
I think Stevie's got that dog in him.
I think Stevie's got the dog in him. Meansy's my boy. I freaking love Meansy, but Stevie's got the dog in him. Yeah. Wow. I'm so glad someone brought up Meansy. I can't believe that I didn't bring that up. All right. I'm glad people are enjoying. Hang on. What does Steve say in the private chat? Oh, he says, all right, we're good. Well, let's get out of here. All right, you're right. We got to get out of here. I'm literally staying at a neighbor's house, so I need to get out of here as well. For Kirkwood, for Neil, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys. We appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. Like Meansy punching you in the face, you have been crunched.